Hi, my name is Heather and welcome to Strings and Threads, coming to you from my dungeon of dreams. Today I'm doing my monthly makes video. So this is where I just show everything that I was working on this month. I feel like I didn't get as much done this month as I do in a normal month. I'm not really sure what it was. I felt off this month. I didn't feel the creative juices flowing as much. I don't know how to describe it. It's just one of those things, I guess, that you can't always be on, but I did get some stuff done. So we'll start with Battle of the Stitches, and that's a collab that I'm doing with Teresa from Critters Crochet. And so we did the front loop slip stitch this month. So I did a tutorial on my channel for how to do the stitch. And then my project was a emotional support sensory crab. And I'll put a picture of it here because I forgot to do a video with it before I shipped it off, because it was the winner of the Battle of the Stitches this month. So it was in a giveaway, and so I gave it away and it's already been shipped off. But there's a picture of it right there. And there is a tutorial on my channel on how to make that. I believe I have it in with my Amigurumi tutorials, if you looked in that playlist. So that was one thing. Another thing that I can't show yet is that I've been talking in my monthly makes about how at Christmas time this coming year, 2024, I'm going to do a crochet along Advent. And I finished the pattern. So now what I need to do is break the pattern down into 24 sections and do a video tutorial of each of those 24 sections. But I think that I'm going to make that my goal to finish that in June, because I don't have to work in June. I work at a school, and so I only work during the school year, and our last day of school is the last Friday of May. So that I have June, where basically the only thing I have to do is shuttle my kids around to all their swim practices and swim meets. So it's not completely free and clear for me, but I will have way more free time than I have when I'm working. So that was an accomplishment, even though I can't show it because it's going to be a surprise. It'll be that you do a chunk of it every day. The Advent, you do a chunk of it every day, and then on the 24th day will be the last directions, and you'll have the completed project just in time for Christmas. So that's the point of an Advent, right? Where you do something for the first 24 days. But I did complete the pattern fully, so now I just have to break it down. I had a request. Somebody had asked me to make a drawstring ditty dice bag of a zombie head, and they specified a gray zombie head. So I did that, and here's how it turned out. I have the pattern for it on Etsy, and all of the people who are members of my channel got this pattern, because I used to do all my patterns would be for free on Patreon, but I needed to discontinue my Patreon because it was getting too difficult for me to have unique content for both YouTube and Patreon. So my Patreon members were kind enough to come over to YouTube and become members, and I have a few of you who are members already, and so that is going to be a perk of being a member on my channel too. Any of the patterns that I put up for sale on Etsy, I will, as I make them, I'll give them to you. So that would be part of the perk. Also, you get pre-releases of videos and special badges and special emojis, I guess they are. So there are definitely perks. It's only $2.99 a month, so it's not a huge big deal if you were interested in something like that. I mean, I think just getting the patterns alone would, if you like these kind of unique patterns, that would be more than pay for itself, because I charge $4 for this pattern on Etsy. So you already got more than your money's worth, in this pattern. And then I had another request by my friend Annie from Annie's, I think she changed her name. I know it used to be Annie's Laughs and Crafts, but I think now she calls it Annie's Hope for Crafts. she wanted a nurse amigurumi with a backpack. And so I made the pattern for it, and I made one for me, and I made one and sent it to her, and she did a video on it, and she's been keeping, I didn't realize this, but she made up a game. It's some kind of healthcare game. And so she's been putting the pieces to her game in the backpack that the nurse has. So here's how she turned out. I love it. Again, people who are members of my channel, they got the pattern for the nurse amigurumi. And then here's the backpack. It is functional. You know, you can open it up and put stuff in it. Annie already did it with hers. And then it will close shut like this with the cord and the toggle fastener. So all your treasures will stay safe in there. They're not going to come out. This is fully closed. But I'm glad that Annie suggested that, because I'm not sure that I would have thought of it on my own, but I had a lot of fun with her trying to figure out her clothing, trying to figure out her hair. So I have her hair in a bun, and then I tried to make it even fancier. I'm like, what if she had a braid around her bun? So I did that. And then little wisps of hair that are falling out because she's so busy working really hard as a nurse. So some wisps of hair have fallen out of her bun. And then she has little bangs. So she was a lot of fun to make, but her pattern is in my Etsy store as well, if you are interested in that. My Etsy store is listed in my description. And forgive me for looking down, but I made a list because I wanted to make sure that I got everything. So the blankets, I made the alpine stitch blanket, and then I had people sending me granny squares and yarn, and my mother-in-law also helped. She took some of the yarn that was donated to me and she made blankets. So there were blankets that were sent out for donation to the cancer center in my town. So it's really close to where I live. I didn't have to mail them. I just drove down there after work. It took 5 minutes. And I dropped them off. We were able to put together 8 blankets to donate, so I feel really proud about that. Linda donated some completed blankets and some yarn. Deb donated a lot of yarn, which was so helpful, and as well as some squares. And then Tina also donated a lot of yarn and squares. So anyway, I did do a video. Right now the blankets are already donated at the Cancer Center, but I did do a video clip of the blankets so that you could see them for my monthly makes video. So I'll put that in here. Hey guys, this is a cut into my monthly makes. I wanted to talk about the blankets that were made for donating to the Cancer Center. They're all finished. I wanted to show you, but I'm hoping that by the time I make my monthly makes video at the end of the month, they'll already have been donated. I hope, fingers crossed. This certainly took a lot longer than I was anticipating, but I did have some lovely blankets, and I had some wonderful help from all of you. Thank you so much. I want to give credit to Linda. I'll show you the 2 that she contributed first. Hers were Tunisian crocheted, and they turned out absolutely absolutely wonderful. I was going to say, look at the border on this. It turned out gorgeous. I think anybody would love to have this blanket while they're going through chemo treatments. This is another one that Linda had made, and this is nice and thick. It will keep somebody nice and warm. Again, it's Tunisian stitched. She does beautiful, beautiful work. And so I am excited to be able to take that in for donation. Tina made me a complete blanket, but not only that, she also made some squares. I'll talk about the squares later. But she made this complete blanket, and it is so gorgeous and so scrumptious. This turned out beautiful. I really hope this makes somebody's day. I think I was showing you the back. I don't know. It's hard to tell. Both sides are beautiful, but I really hope that somebody's day is brightened when they receive this one, because the yarn, both the yarn and the stitches are beautiful. And Tina had told me that she did not color control when she made this, which seems hard to believe just because it worked up so perfectly. So Tina, thank you for this. This is beautiful. My mother-in-law, she took some of the yarn that was donated to me for this project. She took some from that Deb and some that Tina had donated for this project, and she made a beautiful blanket as well. I know she doesn't like when people make a fuss over her, but she is a beautiful crocheter too. And she took she took different colors and she put it together into this beautiful blanket. I think somebody is going to love to have this one too. What I really hope is that those people who are going through a hard time, I don't imagine that it's easy to go through chemo, and I know some of you have gone through it as well, but I hope that this is something that can brighten their day, give them a little bit of hope, give them a little bit of something to keep them going. I took some of the yarn that was donated and I made 2 complete blankets. So here's one of them. I believe I have a tutorial for this stitch on in one of my playlists, either I think it would be the blanket playlist that I would have this stitch, and I have a stitch tutorial for this as well. So I did not color control. I mean, it came out kind of like stripes, but they're not exactly even rows. But to me, it reminded me of kind of like a stained glass window. So I liked that. And then this was the one with the alpine stitch that took forever. I'm done with making blankets for a while. So don't ask for a blanket. Don't ask when my next blankets are going to be made. This is a beautiful stitch, but this took me months of working on it every day to get it done. I love the blanket, but I would never make another one. The stitch is beautiful, and I have a tutorial for the alpine stitch in my stitch tutorial playlist. And I would certainly make other things with this, but not another blanket. And then Deb and Tina both donated squares to me, and these blankets are by far my favorite. I think they turned out gorgeous. Deb sent me actual squares as well as some of the granny square yarn to make granny squares with. So I made, for this first one, I made some of the granny squares, but Tina was nice enough to help me out by she probably made more of them than I did. Actually, she did make more of them than I did. So thank you, Tina, for helping me out. But this, it turned out gorgeous. And so thank you for sharing that yarn with me, Deb, and thank you, Tina, for helping me make some of the squares, most of the squares for this. It, to me, again, looks like stained glass windows. I hope whoever gets this loves it as much as I do. This turned out gorgeous. And I could see somebody putting it over their lap. These are more lap gans than actual blankets. These are meant to put on your lap while you're receiving chemo treatment. And whoever gets these will get to keep them. And I hope that they treasure them and love them. And this one, it's eclectic and I love it. It's just kind of me. I like eclectic. I like different. I don't necessarily always like it when all the squares match. I do love that last blanket. I have to admit, I do love that. But this was just random squares. I made like 2 or 3 of them, so I don't get credit for that part of it. I sewed all of it together. That I will take credit for. But Deb and Tina made all of the other squares, and they didn't know what the other one was making, and both of them sent me squares that were all different from each other. So I am so in love with this. I can't wait to show you. this is so pretty. Let me make sure I'm showing you the front. Here's the front. It kind of has a quilt feel to me. I just adore this blanket. So I hope somebody really special gets this. I hope they really love it. I hope that while they're getting their treatment, they can look at and enjoy each of the different squares that are on there. I love how it all came together. So thank you again to Deb and Tina and Linda. Linda donated the complete blankets that were Tunisian crocheted. Thank you again for your help with getting this together for me. And I will go back to my regular video. The next completed object I did a video for again because it's something that I gave away before the end of the school year. And that is for the shawl that I was making for my teacher friend that I worked with this year. And it was made with Big Twist Vista, but I only had one in that colorway and it didn't make it as big as I was wanting it to be. And what I ended up doing is making sleeves with it. So let me play the video of that and you can see how that turned out. I know this is a cut into my monthly makes video, but I'm going to be giving this away before the end of the month. So I wanted to do a little video clip showing you how it turned out. If you watched last month, I was showing you a shawl that I was making for a coworker and I ran out of the yarn. And so I didn't get to make it as long as I wanted to. So what I decided to do, instead of having it be a shawl that you bring around, I just made it to the length that it went. And then I sewed up sleeves for it. And now I almost don't want to give it away because I just love this so much. So this is how it turned out. And I hope that my coworker loves it too. If she doesn't, I will gladly take it back because I would love to wear this. In fact, I'm thinking of making one for myself. It's a shame I don't have any more of this color. This was the Big Twist Vista, I guess. And the colorway is Driftwood. So I had bought that from Joann's a long time ago, and they only had the one. And I thought, well, maybe I could make a shawl with the one. But even though it didn't turn out to be a shawl, I still like the way that it turned out. So now back to my other makes. So the last completed object that I did this month is the Make Me Smile summer hat. And I really love the way this hat turned out. It's perfect for summer, perfect colors. I have it made in acrylic weight, which can be warm. So I had said in the video, there's a video tutorial for it if you're interested. I don't have a written pattern for it, but I do have a video tutorial for it. It's in my playlist hat video tutorials. And so I said you could also make it from medium weight cotton, or you could also make it from Raffy yarn. I think this would be pretty amazing with Raffy yarn. I just have like the little bit left over from the last bucket hat that I made from Things We're Making Thursday with the Raffy yarn. So I didn't have enough to make this. And especially with the color changes, I think the color changes are something that make this whole design pop. But that's the last completed object that I did this month. Another thing that happened this month is that I became affiliated with 2 different yarn companies. And the first, I'm finding out now there's a ton of people who are becoming affiliated with them, and that is BambooMN. I'm going to say it that way. I don't know if it's BambooMN or if it's BambooMN, but I love BambooMN. I think that sounds way cool. So unless they correct me, I'm going to keep saying it that way. So what I did was I ordered yarn from them, and you'll get to see it next month with Things We're Making Thursday, because I'm going to make the top-down design that Crystal from Hook That Yarn designed. And so you'll get to see how it is worked up. I did a little video showing a little swatch of it that I did make. And it looks like this. This is wool yarn that I picked. It's mercerized wool. And this is called Galaxy Fantasy yarn. I do have a link to my affiliate, an affiliate link in my description to them. And then I got 3 more just to make sure that I would have enough. But one thing that really attracted me to that company, they reached out to me first, but I didn't want to just willy-nilly accept. So I went on their website and I checked everything out. They do have a variety of things on their website. It's not 100% cotton. They do, it's called BambooMN, so they do sell bamboo kitchen items and bamboo other items. I didn't go through all that. I specifically looked at the crochet and yarn section. They do have bamboo crochet hooks that I'd be interested in trying at some point. And they have all kinds of yarn. But what stood out to me is the price for the quality. So there's bamboo yarn, there's wool yarn, there's really nice quality yarn, but it's at a price that I find very reasonable. It's not overpriced. It's something that I could afford. I went in and I bought these myself. I bought all 4 of these myself. So far at least, I haven't gotten any free items from them, but what they work off is the commission. So if you use my link to buy something, then I get a certain percentage of that sale is sent back to me. So I don't know, maybe in the future they would do something like send me products to show, but so far I haven't gotten that. So far, if I've shown you anything from that company, it's because I purchased it with my own money. But if you go on and you decide that you like the items that you see, then I would encourage you to use my link. That it would just help my channel out a little bit. It's not going to make me rich or anything like that, but it is, every little bit in life helps. And so you'll get to see how that works up. The other company that I'm now officially affiliated with is Darn Good Yarn. And they have not only an affiliate link, but they also gave me a 15% off an entire order code that you can use when you shop with them. This is another American company. I checked them out before I just willy-nilly agreed to become affiliated with them. So I'm excited. They are actually sending me some product. They're sending me one of their subscription boxes so that I can come on and talk about that. I have not received it yet, but as soon as I receive it, I'll put out a video so that you can see that. But so stay tuned for that. But if you were interested in checking out, they also have some very unique yarn. I remember I watched a video where there was somebody using banana yarn, and I had never, ever even heard of that before. But lo and behold, on Darn Good Yarn's website, they have banana yarn there. So maybe maybe they'll send that to me. I have no idea what comes in their monthly subscription boxes, but they're sending me one of them for free so that I can show you, and so that if you're interested, you can go and use my link, and also you can use the coupon code to get 15% off the entire order. So I feel like that's a pretty good deal. So those are all of the completed items that I have for this month. It really doesn't feel like a lot, but I only have 2 whips. So one of them I feel like I'm always doing a shirt that's the top-down design by Crystal from Hook That Yarn, just because they have always been the perfect shirt to wear, and I wear them all the time to work or whenever I want to dress a little bit better than a t-shirt and shorts, which is really my go-to. I can't do that for work, but that's my go-to at home, like just t-shirt and shorts. That's my uniform. But I love the way these shirts fit. She has a really nice design, and she has a PDF printout. I'm going to put a link to the video. She did a live showing how to do it. And then she has a PDF that you can print that is linked in the description of that live. So that information will be in my description, so you can check that out. But what you do is you take measurements and you write down the number of stitches and everything. And once you do that on the PDF that you've printed out, you have it forever. So unless you lose a ton of weight or gain a ton of weight, you can just use and that's what I've been doing, because I've been pretty much staying the same size. So I just look at the measurements that I had in there and the number of stitches, and it's all the same. I don't have to figure it out again. But I'm using, sorry, I came over here because I had the yarn out, but then I didn't have the tag for the yarn with the one I brought out. So I wanted to get one out. I made a Hirschner's order this month, and that was the first time I have ever done that. But I ordered some of this Baby by Hirschner's Cotton Twist. And it is so soft and it feels so good. And I absolutely love the colorway. So I decided to make the top out of that. I figured it would be nice and lightweight for the summer. Now what I am going to do is I am going to make the sleeves longer. Right now, just the way that it comes around, this is where the sleeves stop. So I will, after I get the length that I want, obviously it's not long enough. There's no way I'm wearing a shirt like this. But after I make the shirt the length I want it to be, I'm going to come back to the sleeves and I'll add sleeve length, you know, so that it's, you know, something that's comfortable for me. And so this is a whip that I have. And the second whip, I did finally go back to the, I don't know how you say it. I'm going to just say Candy because I have no clue, and it would be so cool if it was called Candy, but it's spelled C-A-N-D-E. And that's a pattern by Nomad Stitches. And it's funny, I enjoy this pattern so much, and I found that she has a YouTube channel, and I was watching something on, it might have been on Facebook or something, some kind of video, and an ad popped up and she was in the ad. It was for one of those things that you put around you to crochet with. So I thought, oh my gosh, that's so cool. She's in advertising. That is awesome. But this is the pattern, and I've gotten pretty far with it. I started this pattern with a yarn that was way more variegated than I thought it was going to be. If you've watched my other monthly makes, you've seen this. I've been working on this pattern for a long time because I started it with different yarn. But I've gotten it almost long enough. It's almost long enough. And then after I have it, I love the design this makes, by the way. This makes such a pretty pattern on it. And once I have it to the length that I want it to be, then I just need this kind of ribbing around both of the sleeves and around the bottom. So that's a tall order, but it will get there. So here's how it's looking so far. I'm really excited to see this come together. And maybe with a little bit of luck, I'll be able to finish this next month. We'll see, because I'm going to do that other shirt for Things We're Making Thursday. So I have a feeling that first shirt that I showed you, that is Crystal's from Hook That Yarn's top-down design, I have a feeling that one's going to get put on the back burner so that I can do the Things We're Making Thursday shirt, because I really wanted to use it in some BambooMN yarn. So that's everything for the month. I appreciate you stopping by and watching, and you know, just being my friend, being a part of this channel. This has brought so much, I say this a lot, but it really has brought so much to my life to have this. This is something that is mine and that I get to share with you, and you share with me, and we build a community. It's hard in your everyday life to find this kind of community that shares your interests, that cheer you on and that you cheer them on, and that you get to just really connect with. So this is a very special thing to me, and I don't take it for granted. I really do appreciate each and every one of you, and I thank you, those of you who stick around. I know I have good videos, I have bad videos, I have good days, I have bad days, but this is the real thing. This is real life. And thank you for sharing in that with me. I hope everybody has a great day. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.